your inspiration process also,
Live streaming is on.
goes back and forth, and from there you develop your point of view. Once you develop your point of view, and there is a statement you have developed after talking to people, your understanding, your observation, then you go to the next stage of ideation. You please remember, inspiration is actually part of idea. You have generated that idea. There is a difference between idea and ideation. Ideation is execution and implementation, execution of your idea. So there are millions of ideas. There is no dearth of idea. Practical idea which can be implemented is most important thing. Implementation means you have to have a solid customer, paid customer who is your taker. Just on the book, you just cannot do a business. So you have to ideate, you have to create a prototype from there, and you have to take that prototype to the market to test it with real customers who should be ready to pay for this. So you create a subset of actual customers and take that to your customers and test it. Most of the time, today's entrepreneurs, they fear to ask the customer. They think, whatever idea I have, that is very good. We all think whatever we are thinking is actually going to solve people's problem are best. And we fear going to people and ask them, because our dreams would be shattered if they say no. But let our dream get shattered. That is design thinking. Let people say, no, this thing is not good. So you should improve there. Because if you directly launch in the market with a product launch, and if that time people do not like it, then the disaster would be even bigger. Okay. So you test it, look at the back and forth cycles. So again, you go back to the prototype, again, you go back to the ideate and improve. Okay. And come back and taste. And once people accept that taste, you understand what people need, what problem it is solving. Around that, in the implementation stage, now you are entering the implementation stage. Okay. Now you build your story and narratives around that. Start your marketing, digital marketing, or ATL, BTL activity. Let people know. Tell those stories which your set of customers, your target group, your set of customers, because you have to develop a customer profiling. Okay, you have to develop that and set of customers whom you thought that these are the people, they would relate to that story. And then you launch a pilot, proof of concept within a small market or within a group of people. That is how it works actually. Suppose you want to launch something all India, first you have to launch in Kolkata. Okay. And you have to create a business model, revenue model, from where the revenue will come, how you will spend. And you have to, once you successfully build that business model, then probably you have a successful model where revenue is coming and you are spending, and you are all set to go. Okay. After that, you will scale it up. Okay. So this is a perfect three phase stage of design thinking process. So there are four key elements of design thinking. One is people centered, second is highly creative, then hands on, after that, you know, iterative. How does it go? Like people centered. People centered is actually understanding people's need or what people want, what motivates them, what problem they have, what problem you are trying to solve, and you have to understand those empathetically. Empathetically means what is their desire, what is their frustration, all these, the kind of frustration we all had during the initial session. you know, things are not happening, and that time someone appears and gives some idea, and the entire customer group, they like it, and some new innovation comes up. Okay, so you have to be people centered, people's problem you are solving. So we have to remember in life, everybody, your customers, typical customers, everybody has a goal, has a current problem to solve. And if someone doesn't have a problem to solve right at this moment, they have a goal to reach, a target to reach. So either you are helping them to solve their challenge today, today's challenge or pain area, or you are helping them to reach to some place. Okay, so that is empathy. So next is highly creative. So what is highly creative? Design thinking actually stimulates you to look at situations differently, just not as a passerby or regular guy. Your sight has to be a little different, and so that you can come up with a new solution that go beyond improving existing alternatives. So you have to have an integrative thinking is the key. You need to have the ability to look at all the different aspects of a problem, not only just one aspect. Overall ecosystem. Uh, you know, I need to really have the side that if I improve this thing can impact other areas too. You know, and just some time back, when there was a lot of rush with big basket and online groceries and grocers of the world, and they were, some of them quickly shifted to some, cloud. So they are trying to solve people's problem. They are technologically they are shifting. So integrated thinking, which has a multiple effect elsewhere, and it has to go parallel actually. So you have to be highly creative, integrating different aspects of market, technology, everything, right? So hands-on. What is hands-on? Hands-on is stop discussing, amongst ourselves and talk about all these ideas and that can be done. Instead of that, actually start doing, start working. Once you start doing, and you'll make a lot of mistakes. If you make mistakes, you'll rectify those. Make, whatever you are doing, make this tangible. And in business, make, if you even if you make a prototype, and you can test your hypothesis, if you make a practical model and then you fail. The other day in a similar kind of seminar I was talking, it is one of my favorite stories actually. So I have seen so many entrepreneurs, actually we see the success, okay, we don't see the failures. Behind every success there are multiple failures. So failure is an integral part of an entrepreneur. If you have a fear to fail, you know entrepreneurship is not your cup of tea. Why entrepreneurship? Anything you cannot actually approach, you'll be afraid. There are many successful people, those who are successful. I was other day giving the example of Sachin Tendulkar. Harbhajan Singh once told that India team was on a tour to South Africa, and Sachin, being short-heighted, was unable to face Alan Donald's ball, which was coming at his head high on a bouncy top, green top, and he was not able to handle those. And Harbhajan Singh and Sachin was room partner. At middle of the night, Harbhajan Singh broke his sleep to find there was a continuous sound like thuk thuk kind of sound continuously happening. He came out of the room to find Sachin in the corridor, putting ball inside a sock, and hanging it from top somewhere, and continuously knocking the ball at the same height where Donald's ball were coming. Sachin was not out the previous day, but could not just could just hang around, and he could not play well. So whole night Sachin did the knocking at the same height at which Donald's deliveries were coming. And next day, Sachin played Donald very well with all hooks and pulls and scored a century. So we only saw Sachin's success story. We could only see Sachin's century. But till the time Harbhajan actually leaked this story, we never knew what kind of failure and pain of failure and improving, taking lesson from there and improving that actually happened underground, behind our back actually. So every business, please don't be afraid of failures, be hands-on, and please do fail. Failure is integral part actually, right? So another thing I remember very fondly, Shahrukh Khan told Gauri Khan after reaching Mumbai that for 10, please give me 10 years and don't disturb me for 10 years. You know, after that we will have a family life and everything. So please allow me 10 years. And we all know even after 5 7 years, where was Shahrukh Khan? So please sacrifice. Please keep yourself away from all sorts of and only focus on what you are doing and fail and try and keep on improving, right? So you have to be iterative. What is iterative? You understand, look at the model here. Your idea, number one. So you have the idea, then you build the prototype, and after that you launch, then customer, you customer, tries it. So once you launch, customer tries it, tests it, and once customer tries, you get a feedback. Then you come back and forth to the ideate stage, and keep on improving. That is, you learn and then you improve, and that is the iterative, which is an integral part of design thinking. But because in today's world, if you stop doing that, you'll just off the market. So staying on the market is very, very important, and you have to keep improving, because all young minds today are doing business, and young people are very, very dynamic and agile in mind, and everybody is, you can see today you are using a new tool for our webinar. Yesterday there was some other tool. Right now there are n number of tools in the marketplace. So everybody new innovation is happening. People are coming. So if you cannot keep on improving your tool, taking feedback from the market, though maybe in just 2 weeks you'll be out of the market. I'll give you few examples that we can remember. We had a very, very wonderful phone called Nokia. Okay, Nokia had a operating system called Symbian, and that time it was very popular. Then came BlackBerry, and BlackBerry operating system was very unique. It was a status symbol using BlackBerry, and people are all gaga over BlackBerry, and so many things were happening with BlackBerry. Suddenly, overnight, the market changed, and iOS came, and completely Apple, started flooding the market. And the wow factor with Apple was the great customer experience it was giving people, and whosoever is using that, they were happy. On Apple's platform, people started developing different applications, and then quickly back to back came Android, and Android also started giving the similar kind of experiences. So these two players stayed on the market, and in no time BlackBerry vanished, and Nokia sold its entire thing for few years to Microsoft. And see, Microsoft actually could not match the Microsoft's operating system and Symbian. They could not match uh, iOS, because iOS and Android is giving a platform which is more robust, and where people can come and develop their own application on top of this kind of open systems. So Microsoft system was closed. They were not allowing you to develop your mobile application. So suddenly, because of iOS and Android, came the era of mobile app. So people started, instead of large software applications, people started developing mobile application. See, the days are changing, and Microsoft is not able to cope with that. So gradually, mobile applications started getting developed on Android, and new kind of software getting started with React Native and Angular JS. You guys are new and you know all these platforms, and suddenly all new sorts of software coming in. Instead of C and Java and all, so all new software started coming in. Then again, Microsoft went back to its laboratory and brainstormed and came out with new Microsoft platform. And by the time Nokia also started using its own old brand and this Finnish company, because their agreement with Microsoft was for few years, and they again started building. And Microsoft also came with their own improved platform. But by the time they could not find a place. So this is what happens if you continuously do not keep on improving yourself and your product features, which is actually developing an ecosystem around you, which is very important. You are not alone. You have to take everybody together. That's what the message is. Okay. Okay. So how is an entrepreneur's progress map in design thinking? The initial days and research and trying things and failing, and it's a more complicated than a snake and ladder game where you try and fail. Why I'm repeatedly telling this? Because you have a pressure from your family, you have a pressure from ecosystem, you have pressure from your friends, and don't just come under the influence of people citing big success stories. Just remember, behind every success story, all these kind of ups and downs are there during research time, the prototype, and all these stages of developing a point of view. So those are there. Then comes concept development, concept prototyping. Then you get stabilized. When do you get stabilized? When you have complete clarity and how your revenue is coming. Very important. I'm repeatedly saying revenue because without cash flow and revenue you cannot really survive. So so then it stabilizes. Then you develop your further scalability model. Then it stabilizes. So as I was telling, that everything has a cost to it, right? Where do you apply actually? Design thinking, you just cannot apply everywhere. Can you apply? Just think. You are very innovative. You are doing things, and the market is not ready. What does it happen? Or there is no taker, or how it works. Let us see. Let me go to a simpler model. What happens? People has to have desire. Okay, to take something that you have done market research, you have known. So people has to know, that people has a desire. There is a people has a desire, okay, and technologically it is feasible. You can actually do that. Still, you should not do this. Why? You have to also see if it is business wise viable. If it is business wise not viable, there is no point doing it. Time and again, I give you another example. Like, just think of old days classical musicians, big kings and rajas and maharajas, and they were sponsors, and they used to sing, they used to patronize. Okay, so they used to get revenue out of that. So if there were no sponsor, they could not have this classical music would not have survived. Similarly, if there is no taker, if there is no revenue, your business would not survive. There is no business viability. So at the middle happens innovation. So there has to have a person or business viability from where the revenue will come. There has to be a technological way out, and there should be people who are desire ready to take. So you have a people who is ready to take. There is a technology, but you don't have a business model. No, there has to be three together, and the middle path at the middle convergence is actually innovation. So innovation only happens when all three converges together. Okay. So how would you actually judge this? How the innovation actually can happen? So the business viability, as I was mentioning, you have to look which industry you should work for. Suppose you have a technology, you know, so you have to see right now during COVID, or if you start something, just an example, you cannot start doing something for the tours and travels for 1 year. People are saying it is not going to work. Okay, aviation, it is not going to work now. So even if you start something for automobiles, you can probably do something very, very niche on AI/ML sector. So gradually you see the color is changing. So from red it is gradually going to yellow and financial services, but all financial services not doing good. Only NBFC and this kind of lending would be good, but mutual funds and all these things would be down. Education, education sector, are going to virtual, so that particular area would be good. But traditional education sector, suddenly if you think you'll open a physical school now, it's not going to work. Or play school or something is not going to work at this moment because of social distancing. Oil and gas right now is down, but when the market opens, lockdown is over, people will start again using the vehicle. And as a student, our student, you should know, because of oil and gas, the global politics also depends. So you have to keep and watch what's happening around the world. You should know how the economy revolves, why they are suddenly oil exporting countries producing and exporting countries suddenly lowering the price. So agriculture would be very high because you know, we have to have our food. E-commerce would be very high. Information communication technology, because that is going to help in automation and help everybody go online. You know, AI, ML, everything would be more accepted now with analytics. So that is going to stay, but you have to select this supporting industry very wisely. Okay, so definitely medical supplies and clinical research is something is going to happen. It's actually booming now, clinical research. So you have to select the business viability, technology, and people's desirability. A market research covering this kind of area. Okay, so how do you apply design thinking? So there are 5 steps. So what is the first step? So actually, it is no one size fits all kind of funda. Okay. So as I told, you have to understand your customer segment, and So what are those 5 steps? There is no Stanford Design School has actually prescribed this model of empathize, define, iterate, ideate, prototype, and test. Okay. So empathizing is actually you observe, you engage with people, to a group, to a set of people who will be using, watch and listen. So this is actually empathizing. Okay. Uh, if I just can ask the host to let me know about the time, since we started late, I just thought to ask once. Remind me of the time, how much time we have. Accordingly, I'll keep proceeding. So someone just can guide me on time. So
Kaushik,
yes, please.
you may continue. Depends on you how long you can give us.
Sure. So let me
You're free
continue.
to finish your presentation, and at the end we may have around 4 5 questions if anyone has any. And secondly, I would request the participants to text in the questions if they have any.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am.
The program is also going live on YouTube as well as Facebook page of Uddog, so they can pass comments and questions, raise their questions there too.
Right. Thank you so much, and interact in if I just can resume, and I just remember one thing. Whenever we have physical sessions and workshop, interaction happens. Okay. uh, so we are more habituated with physical seminars and all workshops. Uh, I cannot see your face, your expression, and your
Oh,
facial.
welcome to see me. My camera is on. Anyway, that's again a disruption. So better not see my face. Just carry
No,
on with your presentation. Thank you.
no. I'm just saying. So interaction is interact. So I'm just continuing the monologue and would expect a lot of questions from you people.
Sure. Thanks.
So that is empathizing is actually similar kind of example on empathizing, which is understanding people and then actually tailoring whatever you are doing. So observe, engage, watch, listen, and come out with your services, which is actually empathizing. Next step is, let me share with you how this empathizing process works. Suppose it actually works on three pillars, which is what, how, and why. You know, just think once again. What? See, look at this picture. Set up children. They have some, drawing colors and they are drawing and something. That is a reference picture, but this is just a reference. This is an example. So what, how, and why? So what are they doing in the picture? Answer is the children are drawing and coloring. Okay, this is the way how you can actually frame your question here once you look at things. Okay, so next is how. How are they doing it? They are happily doing it. Okay, they are smiling. They are happy. They are excited. Why this is important? Because people are happy in experiencing something, in enjoying something, and that gives great business actually. Okay, so they are happily doing it. Why are they doing it this way? Because they like playing with colors, and they like being messy. As I remember this example of Surf Excel. you know uh, you know they play on the mud, and they mess up with mud, and lot of dirt on them. And what is the tagline? Ganda to acha hai, or something like that. And and people show fun. So remember before this ad, remember the time when mothers used to scold people, and after this ad, actually research work says that people has started less scolding for spoiling the cloth, and people are enjoying. That is how you should always encash and do things where people would be happy, or communicate in a way so that you encash on people's happiness. Whenever in India, you have seen hospital ads showing the operation table, and heart is beating like beep beep, and some blood and all. In the Western world, they never show this. They only show happy smiling face. In the background, they say, or in a voiceover, that after operation, successful operation, I'm happy. They don't show this because psychology only can recognize your happiness. Earlier days in a commercial movie, people who used to live in slums and all, they only used to go to see meaningless, mindless movies with full of entertainment, mindless entertainment. you know Typical, some of the heroes used to produce that kind of movie, and in some kind of slum dwellers and all, who were already in misery and problem, they used to go for 3 hours to see those kind of movies. So as an entrepreneur, you should identify that what actually brings happiness in people. We cannot do business on misery. Even we have to convert misery into notion which relates to uh, happiness. So we always have to define in any business. We have to be able to define what is defined. We have to have a user group, and we have to have a definition. Customer segment, user group, and we have to have a need analysis, have insights into that, and we have to define our business. That is our brand persona, and that is the definition of our business. Okay, so select a limited set of needs and start working that on that limited few needs. As I told in earlier example, you start working on 3 to 4, 5 needs and gradually define your business. And during the course of time, this will take a shape. And whichever is well accepted by people, you continue with that. That is definition. And then with those definitions, we ideate with group synergy and your creativity, and let people to evaluate those your idea. Okay, so while you convert your idea into ideation stage, you continuously stay in touch and you keep on improving. So start building your prototype. Once you build your prototype, build your story. So wonderful storytelling, keeping your environment, society, helping people, everything is very important. See, if you have a small business now, if you have a mid-sized business now, it is very important that whatever story you're building, it should have a societal impact. It should be helping people. It should be, you know, so there are many large companies who are actually doing some social work and actually doing sensible marketing to reach out to people and spread this message that they are a good Samaritan and they are helping people, which is extremely important. And just give me a moment to have a gulp of water. So the world is saying, large experts are saying at this moment during COVID that you help your customers. Suppose this, you'll remember this in future when you start your business, or existing entrepreneurs also, those are listening, help your existing customers. Big Basket was giving reward to existing people, those who are already with them for quite long. So remember, nowadays, acquiring new customers is costlier. You have to serve your existing customer. You have to help them with bit of, maybe, even airline, train, everybody is refunding the full money. So as a small business also, give them some kind of, liberty, help them. Just don't ask money or sell. Go and ask, where is your problem? Can I help you? From there, you'll find an upsell and cross sell avenue. You get into the existing people, try to solve their problem during COVID-19 situation, and say if you can really help them some way. Don't look for business and money all the time. Okay, so yours, and then encash that opportunity to do sensible marketing. I'm getting this question every day, that how exactly we should do our marketing. So we should only do our marketing which is not around sales, which is around helping people, helping society at this time. But again, there is another point. Usage of internet has risen by 80%. Or everybody is on internet now. So you can actually reach to your targeted segment now, which is very important. But reach sensibly. Use the right message, right communication, and whosoever has a business, reach out to your customers and help them. Don't ask for money, go for money. Money will follow. And if you can help someone now, they would be your customer for the life. The loyalty quotient would be very high, and they will become your advocate also in the marketplace. Right? So if I can go back, come back, and the last, this one is taste. So show people, create experience, and from the prototype, and let them use it, listen to them what they say, and improve with those experience back and forth, and improve your product and market experiences. So I developed a 5C formula some time ago. All you people would be uh, would be very interested to know They have a query like, how do actually when you start a business, how we plan our business. So which is very important. Proper business planning, there has to be a guideline for that. So thinking about this, last 15 years, I am implementing this successfully and I've improved this model. So what is this model? 5C. This is competition. First C is competition and market. Market and competition means what is the market? What is the market size? What are the other products and competitors are there? Who are there? And how much? Where is the gap? Where is something that I can do differently? What is the gap? What people need, which they are not getting now? All this I need to do. I need to do a proper market research and market feedback. So after that, customer. See, any business, customer is most important because they will stay our business alive, and we have to run by them. So you have to help customer to stay alive. So, who are our customers? Who are the ideal takers? So, you have to understand who are our ideal customer. You have to think. So, you have to create a segment, profiling, and you have to understand who is the customer profile. Okay. Second part of customer is customer centricity. We have to do a wonderful customer experience management. What is customer experience management? Customer experience management was again started by Steve Jobs and then practiced by Starbucks in the US. I give a small example. What is customer experience management? You take a coffee, you enjoy a coffee. In the Americas, they buy coffee bean, grind. There is a coffee grinding machine at home, and they grind it. They enjoy coffee. Okay, and so coffee bean, imagine, and then you can go to a beverage shop and buy a coffee. So up till this, it was fine. But what Starbucks started? Wonderful place with sofa, great, with Wi-Fi, with people can sit for hours and chat, and the 50-cent coffee become $6, and people were ready to pay for it. And people remembered, did the people remember coffee and flavor? No. People remember the wow experience of a nice sitting sofa, chatting and Wi-Fi and working. So all this was a great experience that around 30 years ago Starbucks started giving. And Apple also started giving wow experience through its design, which I mentioned earlier. So, wow customer experience. And then you have to manage, create loyalty. What is loyalty? Whenever Apple phone is launched, more than, you know, the entire block is pre-booked by, close to 89 to 90% of existing loyal users. Why I'm saying you help your customers now? Because if you help your customers now, they become your loyal customer and they refer your product to more people in the world. They become your advocate, and whenever you have something new to launch, they would be the first taker. Yesterday at night, Ina madam knows, I had a US conference, and we are also entering at the same time. We are discussing all, and the US customer told that we are working with you some in other area, so we trust you. In the new area also, we are going to give you some chance instead of trying a new one. So please, this give importance to customers and take feedback. Next, C is coverage. So before when you make a business plan, you understand what is your coverage. What can be a coverage? What is the industry coverage? I discussed in the previous slide which industry you are going to work. What is your geographical coverage? You are going to start with Kolkata, Delhi, America, Europe. What is your geographical coverage? What is your vertical? What is a vertical? Vertical is a typical industry vertical. Okay, or a practice a vertical, for project management I'm launching or something, or I'm going to start a restaurant on Chinese genre, that is an again vertical. Okay, or where industry is your food industry. Okay, vertical, and user. Suppose in a company, you are catering to a particular company, there only, IT people are your user. So that micro level you have to go understand who actually are your users. So coverage you have to divide this way based on, market and competition and customers and coverage. You have to develop your capacity. What is capacity? You have a production capacity, you have a develop delivery capacity. Somewhere it is your infrastructure, like on cloud today, AWS on all infrastructure. And you have to have resources, human resource, technical resource, different kinds of resources. And very important nowadays is learning and development, your R&D, and whatever lessons you are learning, your training manual internally. Nowadays people archive whatever they are training. They keep a video of that, because every time you cannot keep doing the session, so you keep a video of that for your, people who would be joining late, in coming days. They can refer to those videos. Or suppose you have someone, joining in Chhattisgarh, someone in Jharkhand. So you show them that video, onboarding and, induction. So you show those videos. So learning and development has also got automation, they archive it. So small companies, you small companies should actually focus more on, learning and development and automation of those, because human resource is very important. Your bandwidth is valuable. You cannot keep on repeating same sessions every time manually. So you have to keep records of those and need to automate those, which is extremely important, not only for small companies, large companies, for any company. Most valuable is human time. Okay, so you please keep a recording of that and archive that centrally on the cloud. Okay, so capability, you have to increase your capability. What is capability? To sell those. What is the marketing? What is the pre-sales? What is the sales? What is the, under marketing? What is branding? What is advertisement? ATL or BTL? You can do some workshops where you can do some, close group meetings. And then comes the digital marketing. We can break it into 2 to 3 tiers actually. So in digital, what kind of digital? You need to do content or organic or inorganic, and so on and so forth. So this is, if you follow this kind of a structured, systematic method and formula, there is no area which would be missed or skipped. So, so I think, after coming to till this point, I would give a pause to my presentation. I think, what is design thinking, how you should approach it, and how you should practice it. Uh, I have said many a times. In fact, another thing I would be I'll try to say during, there is a lot of question on marketing. How should you do marketing during this time? There is a 10 into 10 formula. What should you tell to your employees or stakeholders or investors or customers or marketing? So for that, there is a 10 into 10 formula. What is that? You have to tell the same thing in 10 different ways, you know to 10 different people in 10, every time you have to keep repeating in 10 different ways. So same communication, repeat 10 times in 10 different ways. So repetition actually get registers in the mind. Why are they saying so many times, wash your hand with soap, use sanitizer? Why so many times from last 2 months? And it actually started working. People are, whenever you switch on the TV, people are, Sachin is showing, how to wash hands so many times. Why? Because they are a class of people. We are also sometimes that we have to tell things repeatedly. So please remember this formula, 10 into 10 formula, 10 times in 10 different ways. Okay. So I will just give a pause to my formal presentation now, and we can get into a presentation. Sorry, question and answer session. And I would welcome questions and I can answer. If someone can help me, collate and accumulate those questions and Throw at me, I can probably answer those.
Sir, I'll read out the questions. Hi, this is Oindrila. Mr. Bhattacharya, can you hear me?
Absolutely, I can hear you. Please
Okay,
carry on.
okay. Thank you. So, for the session, we have two questions. SK Hyder Ali, well, he's asking, while explaining iterate, you took refuge to Nokia BlackBerry iOS structure. Is iterate synonymous to disruptive business?
See, iterate can be
Question is
explained.
from SK Hyder Ali Mullah.
Thank you, Haider, for your very wonderful, nice, and quality question. Say, iteration can be of two, three types. Okay, one is I develop a product and prototype, and I keep on taking customer feedback and keep on improving. Okay, which is in a smaller kind of setup. In a larger global setup, I was trying to cite that example. BlackBerry and Nokia and all these things. They stopped innovation and could not think that it would be so fast changing. They could not cope with innovation. So example and inference is the same. Keep your radar, open to feedback and what customers are saying, what competitors are also doing in the ecosystem, and keep updating yourself. Don't think today I'm king, so my product is selling well, so tomorrow I would also remain the same. We all know the ACFA story. They were once the pioneer in films and cameras. ACFA, okay, and they could not imagine how fast digital camera would come, and then how fast camera digital camera would get embedded into mobile phones, and that completely killed ACFA. That company. There are other camera companies. So iteration has several contexts and several meanings, but everywhere you have to go back and forth to your customer competition market and keep improving, come back and keep improving your product and ecosystem, your product feature benefit, and improving platform, improving, suppose you had developed something on premise, some software, and now you have to go global, and now you have to shift to cloud, because you cannot keep investing on security, cyber security, information securities that heavily. We are all vulnerable to security now, security threats. So it is better to market penetration, market expansion, reaching out to people, better pricing model, help people not to invest so much on servers, IT infrastructure, because they cannot. Whatever they invest, it is other than big corporates, very very large corporate like SAIL, ITC, and all. A business cannot keep on investing so much because threats are changing and dynamic. So you have to go to cloud. You have to tell your customers to go to cloud. So that is again an iteration actually. So there can be different examples either. So that example, that time I remembered. So on the extempore, I gave that example just to show few companies did not do that iteration, and they were off the track and off the market. If I hope I could answer your question. Next one, please.
Yes. Next one is from Professor Ardhendu Shekhar বিশ্বাস, where he's asking, can you please suggest some business idea suitable for working from home?
Sir, thank you very much. Sir, your profession is one of them, and teaching online, probably it was there. Suddenly it has become new normal, and and it's a VUCA world, VUCA, which is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. In this VUCA world, which is the new normal, and we are tackling a VUCA situation with our vision and understanding, clarity, and agility. So we have to be very agile to combat the current situation, to take things, where we can really work from home. A lot of IT companies are working 100% business as usual and while working from home. So teaching and doing healthcare support, doing market research, and teaching any sorts of teaching, actually teaching singing, teaching art, teaching craft. There are many sorts of teaching actually can be done online. And so most important is, sir, not only the idea. Again, there are millions of ideas. Most important is how do you ideate, like how do you develop a revenue model around that. Suppose I cannot resist myself giving one example. 1 second, sir. Example is that day one diagnostic center, they came to me and they asked me, we are actually heavily suffering. So I said, even being in healthcare, why are you suffering? So they said, doctors are not coming, OPD is not opening, so patients are not coming. So if some patients come and OPD happens, then we get some tests and all these things. So nothing is happening. So then I told, why you are not doing it online? So they said, how can we do it online? We're a small setup. Then I said, do it online and make sure that whatever OPD fees is there, you take in advance along with the booking. Otherwise, people will book and they won't turn up. And the doctor can sit at doctor's home and through telemedicine and distance this thing, work from home model, doctor can also start doing it. And they said, only junior doctors we can get. That's fine, but you don't lose on your customers. At least start the online OPD. Otherwise, there are a lot of people at home, they want to show a doctor, they're not going anywhere, they're helpless. So they started this working from home model. So doctors are there. So this is, sir, also one example. But ideation is very important. uh, that revenue model, they started it for free for 1 week. Then they started taking money, and people were giving money in advance, and they were booking. Otherwise, there is a tendency that people don't turn up and doctor is sitting idle waiting, and nobody has turned up. The slot goes haywire. So that execution process, that which video conference tool and what and how the revenue will come is more important. But there are many ways, many things that can be done online. Thank you, Ardhendu sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question we have from Walker Mehdi. How can a fresh college graduate who has no prior knowledge about market sentiments marketize his product in order to reach out to valuable clients?
See, we
Walker
all are.
Mehdi.
Sorry?
Walker Mehdi, that's his name.
Yes, Mr. Mehndi. And see, we all are human beings, right? And from the very childhood, as we say, we take customer feedbacks. Mother feeds you know, feeds milk to a child when the child cries. So that is also customer feedback. So you are a college student or a matured person. We talk to people, we talk to our friends, we keep our radar and eyes open. What customers need. Any business that starts this way, maybe. And then why only college students? There are so many fresh students who started their startup while in university, so many of them. So best way is social media. You select a segment. Suppose you know some technology, correct? So people used to start from there, that this is something that we know and we should start. No, just reverse it and keep an eye on the society, what people need, where are people getting stuck, and keep an eye there. uh, and then talk to people. Then come back and think, do I know any technology which can actually help these people. Then work on the technology, work on how exactly you can reach to these people and can offer your services and products to these people. What should be the medium to reach to these people? So do it this way. And there are many examples actually. And so right now I know a lady who has formed a WhatsApp group and cooking at home and giving to people, serving to people through that WhatsApp group. She is taking orders previous night and cooking at bulk, and through a tiffin carrier she's sending right at this moment. So you have to know your customers and where she had a boutique actually in Salt Lake. She had that boutique. The same set of people she asked instead of boutique and all, if I start cooking and give to you, so this is a cross sell actually, not selling boutique items instead of selling to same set of people, cooking food. So there can be, keep your eyes open, talk to people, and develop a technology and reach out, go back to them and show them. Does it make sense? Or you can come back to me offline. My email ID and everything is there. If you have more questions, because others also need to get a chance, and we all have to respect time. So Mehndi, Mr. Mehndi, if you have still something unanswered, you can reach out to me through my mail or something. I'd be happy to answer. And Vendrila, can we go to the next question?
Next question is also posted by him, but it's an extension of he's asking whether are there any other platform apart from social media where we can exhibit our products so that we get recognized.
Right at this moment, no, because social distancing is there. In general, there are many platforms. Like you can do uh, small set of you can create a small set of group. You can call them from a boot camp. You can do a small. Uh, See, I helped a company to spread in the US. So what we did through social media and LinkedIn, we spoke to people and we called for a small 50 people seminar and interaction. We spoke about our product there. So it was a blend of online and physical. So generally, apart from COVID-19 situation, it is always online and physical blending, which is called BTL activity, which is below the line, and where you have to directly interact with your customer segment very closely, one on one, in a group of say 10 people, 15 people, and it can keep on happening. And you can have a small launch, group launch. All this can happen, but at the current situation, in a pandemic situation, well, social distancing is there. It can only happen over social media right at this moment. So you can also very intelligently use Instagram also, which is very popular to millennials. And Facebook and Instagram are two fit kind of platforms.
So that is all we have from the questions. That's all. We don't have any more questions at this moment.
Okay.
Thank you,
So
Andrea.
Thank you, ma'am.
Kaushik, do you have anything more to say, or should we conclude the session?
my only apart from initial glitch, it was a wonderful session. We all learn from our experiences. I'm so happy for this opportunity, and I thank you and system of the university, all faculties and students and everybody, and to outer world who all listen through Facebook and YouTube and all. Is wonderful experience. Thank you very much, and my gratitude. If any tip can help, anyone, it would be my success, and I'd be very happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kaushik. It was really great of you to spare your time. I know you're very busy, locked up at home, but you're helping everyone over various online platforms. For the participants, I have a request. You can, of course, raise your questions, your queries to Mr. Kaushik Bhattacharya directly to him. He's given his all his coordinates there on the screen. Apart from that, if you have any comments or suggestions regarding such programs from Sister Nivedita University, please get back to us. You have, I think, 2 WhatsApp numbers with you, so you can write whatever you want, maybe questions regarding this particular session, or your suggestions regarding the programs that we are organizing this way. This evening, we also have another program which is on capital market, and we'll be continuously doing such programs. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, my tech and non-tech team, Prabhuddho, Indila, Shukanna, Papia, and of course, Shora. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.